Hello, everyone. Whew, welcome. Oh, man, I need a haircut. I desperately need a haircut, everybody. So maybe I'm going to do a GoFundMe for my hair. There's a GoFundMe for somebody for their wedding. I don't know. Maybe I could do it for my hair. All righty. Blessings, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Yeah, it's an interesting day. The moon's in Leo, which is beautiful. If you were up early this morning and outside, and the moon, I mean, it almost looks full, right? But you can see it's not fully full yet, but it was so beautiful this morning against the backdrop of the black sky. And then there's some clouds over it. And it was just very, very cool looking this morning. And I was just like, yeah, I can feel it. I can just feel this buildup. I was watching or anyways, um I mentioned yesterday about cell phones and how one of my clients who, and it was funny, this is what happened. She sent me a message but it didn't come through, right? And I'm looking at my phone, I'm like, I think she's trying to send me a message. Not thinking anything of it. Put my phone down, thought it was weird. A lot of things in my life I think is weird. Anyways, and I go about my business, and then later on, she gets hold of me through Instagram messaging. Right? Hello, and she said that she was trying to message. And I said, well, I thought I gave you my new number. So, anyways, I gave her my new number again. Um, and she got the message, and then she replied, "Thank you," but the thank you didn't come through right away. Really weird, really odd. Then I'm just finding out in the States, all of these cell phone services that were down. And from AT&T and Horizon and a few others, like, were major outages, and they're out for like 9 hours, some of these outages with their phone services. So I found that like, wow, okay. This is like almost like a big setup to the big thing, where, and I think Leo King was talking about it as well, because we're going by the astrology, and when you go by the astrology, it's pretty freaking exact of saying, there's going to be some kind of crazy outage. Something's going to happen that's going to create, some kind of electrical force or something that is going to come through. And, you know, whether that is a major one with all cell phones going out, and then um and as I was thinking about that, I ended up hearing about, the guy with the really supposedly nice hair, that plane keeps breaking down, and he let's see, your lips, my lips were moving. That happens sometimes, Charlene. It might not be. No, yeah. So my lips weren't in sync. So that's interesting. Um, that this lovely man whose plane keeps breaking down. It's supposed to be like, should be top of the line airplane jet. Um, and um, anyways, he was on a podcast or on a show, which it was, of course, something, affiliated with mainstream media. But he started talking about, yeah, you want to control the main dudes, right? The big dudes, everybody, CBS, CBC, CTV, Global, because those are the main dudes. And they will come in and they will get broadcast everything what is sort of supposedly happening globally, right? But he said that what they want to, really maintain, because you have these offshoots from these dudes, which would be like Good Morning Calgary, or Good Morning Edmonton, or Good Morning Saskatoon, or Good Morning Vancouver, that talk about the locals. And my husband puts that on in the morning, and I really avoid it, and I put my shit on. And but this morning I sort of, saw her. She was talking in Inglewood to a clothing person, a young woman who owns this clothing store. I don't know what it was or what it ever, but the reason I'm bringing that up, it's connecting you to the local, right? Connecting you to the local, and that's, the thing is that he's just so underminingly, surprisingly smart, or he has some really smart people around him, because that's where you want to go. You want to go to the grassroots. You want to go and get the grassroots, the local television station. Because when you look at the podcasters and you look at, for me, I'm not talking so much locally about what's happening in Calgary, and going around locally interviewing people within Calgary, but maybe I should start doing that. Maybe that's something that's, um, calling, is going into to finding out what's happening locally. There are a few that do that, and it's, that go around and talk to locals in different downtowns, right? And they walk around, they talk and see what's happening within the downtown areas and things like that. And excuse me, but hitting that of the local areas, right? Meaning what is happening locally when they're affiliated to the big mainstream, right? And they have a narrative that they have to do or they have to say. If you listen to any like Virgin Radio and you listen um to the DJs on during lockdown, they had a narrative that they had to say, or a script they had to say, hey locals, blah blah, go here, this is what it's all about, and talk, bring in a little bit of local, but nothing too serious. And that's the thing, is like they don't want to make it too serious because they still want to keep you. So they don't want to get, into the war, or they don't want to get into global change or anything. But what they will do is that they will get into the local um people and talk about local things. And oh well, how is that, how is, oh, you mean climate change is affecting your business, really? Oh, and you're a local business of blah blah blah. And they're like, yeah, it's been real difficult. And you get in, when all shit goes down, what are you going to watch? Your local news. You wanna get a hold of your local news. The one big, everybody's like, "Ooh, okay, all the cell phones are down, or all of this is down." What are you going to watch? You're gonna watch the local news. You're gonna tune in to whatever's locally, because nothing else is really going to work, or they're not gonna mention anything. You're not worried about what's happening in Halifax when things are going chaotic in Calgary. Think about it. How else would and I was just like, "Holy shit. Yeah." And I was just like, "Man." And, then hearing, Mr. Uh, Good Hair snorting up the coke, um, high as fuck, man. That's what I should call him, high as fuck, man. High as fuck, man. You guys will know who I'm talking about. Coming up with, yeah, we gotta support local. We gotta support local news. We gotta support our local stations. I was just like, crazy, crazy. And the thing is that, especially with the astrology, if you're wanting, this is a time of seeding things. Now, for us personally, this is when, last year when Mars and Venus almost got together in Leo, but they didn't quite because Venus went retrograde. So she kind of did a teaser to Mars and says, I'll meet up with you later, sweetheart. Can't meet up with you right now. I'll meet up with you later. Right. And she went retrograde. So and she went retrograde in Leo last year. This is the first time in almost a year and a half that they have come together. So with Venus and Mars coming together, that's seeding something. And they're coming together in Aquarius. So it's really seeding something that is, I'm going to say, far out astronomically, but they're also the rulers of Aries and of Libra. So you got to think about, okay, what are the what are the energies of Aries? So Aries is ingenuity, it's the spark, it is the entrepreneurial, getting things going. How am I seeing? So here is Mars coming out with the force. How am I seeing? What am I looking at? What is my spark? What is my inspiration? All right. Venus comes down and she's the ruler of Libra, where the South Node is, and she is like, well, what are my desires? What do I like? What can I bring in that brings a balance into my life? And how can I receive? Because the sword is pointing up, receive the information, allow myself to receive what I need in order for me to be the inspiration, the entrepreneur, to allow for my spark to side, to allow for my spark to sign, to allow my spark to go forth. Like, what is that? What is that I'm seeding at this time in Aquarius, which has to do with uniqueness, individuality, yet coming together within a community and a group. Lots to think about, right? So when we look at that, it's like, okay, what are my desires? What are my values? What is it that I want to bring forth? Because today's the day that the two of them are coming together. Today's the day that they are having that oomph, and Venus will she will like, she's on top, baby. She's riding on top. So she is going to bypass after today and start going, because she's faster than Mars. She's going to start taking off. So she's going to be taking off and going into Pisces. And so there's this energy that we're having that is really getting to look at, okay, what is our deep seated desires and our values? And what we can bring forth a balance within our lives. We're going to look at our personal lives. We're not worrying about the outside world, okay? But what can I bring into my life that I want to seed, that I want to plant, so that I'm able to create something that is new, innovative, inspirational, that I enjoy, So you start thinking about those kinds of things, start writing down, ideas and putting them down, so that you're sort of getting into your flow. What are the things that you love to do? When I look at a lot of things that I love to do, one of the things, I love the tarot. Okay. Let's spiritually, I'm going to look at the things I love to do spiritually. I love the tarot. I love astrology. Those are my two big things, right? And working with, balloons. Ooh, I love the balloons. I love I love working with those two things, because I find they give me the answers I that I need. They help to give me direction, and I get inspired whenever I'm talking about them or working within that modality. From there, I love meditation. I love prayer. I love to study um I love to study things to do with sacred texts, whether that be the Bible or whether that has to do with the sacred texts within Hinduism. I love that. I love Hinduism. I mean, it's just um, such a beautiful, beautiful religion. And it has such a vast array of gods that are there. So I love to work within, the different realms, and working within the different realms and bring forth those different realms. And that's what I love to do. And of course, that leads me to many different other modalities. So planting the seeds that I am able to bring more inspiration to others, that I'm able to create more of a community that can gather in sacredness and understanding, and still have your unique individuality without judgment, right? So those are kind of like, that's how I start to think. These are the things I want to see. These are the things I want to bring forth. Other things I love to do. Yeah, I love ghosts. I love to look and go ghost hunting. Of course, I mean, it's fun, but it's not my core, right? It's one of the offshoots. It's not a core. It's like mediumship. It's not one of my core things. It's, yeah, I can do it, but my true is working within the astrology and working within the tarot and bringing that part and that esoteric together. And then, I can bring in the other realms through that. And that's where, planting that seed of creating that. And so many of you might be looking, well, one of the things that I've been really wanting to work on, or I really want to do, is start to work on my relationships. So it could be, I want to start working with relationships. So what is within relationships? Because you do have that Libra energy, because Venus rules Libra and the Libra's in the South Node. How can I bring more of a balance within my relationships? How can I create something within my relationships that is more substantial and loving and caring and joyful and compassionate for myself and others? And I want to plant a seed for that. I want to plant a seed because I want to create more of that type of environment for myself and for those around me. So taking those different things, and it could come into health. Well, I want to, learn more about health. So what do you want to learn about health? Health for myself. What is it that I need to do for myself that is going to create a healthier, more vibrant me? So I'm going to plant a seed for me to discover more holistic ways on creating more vibration that is going to create more of a vibrance of myself, so that when I'm out, I can be that vibrant person and energetic person I wish to be. So we plant that seed. So we go through it financially. So I want to become more of a financially stable person within my life, that I'm able to uh, create more abundance, not only for myself, but for those around me, and be able to help those. But I need to create something for myself first. So how am I going to plant that seed? What is it that I need to do? I need to be open to new ways of creating income. I need to be open to new ways of learning how to invest, and etc., right? So that I am, when I'm going out, I'm able not to feel insecure, because you could be feeling insecure because you don't have that financial abundance that you want. So that there's an insecurity that you have around yourself. So you want to build up that security, not only within yourself, but within your own vibrational being. So that's where this Mars and Venus coming together for planting the seed can really help you. And especially when we are coming up to a full moon in Virgo. And Virgo, when we look at the energies of Virgo, Virgo is that of service. And what do you want to be a service of? And she, being a earth sign, right? So she's an earth sign. Her ruler is over there. He's across the street in Pisces. So he's not very happy, because he can't get all the information out, because it's in a little watery and very ether, and there's like blah 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 kind of going around him. And then Saturn's there and it's just like, wow, that crazy dude, man. You know, so we have this energy of this beautiful full moon in Virgo. Virgo is the virgin. The virgin means I am virtuous. I am posed in what I do, and I stand with what I do. And my service as a Virgo is to the earth. I am a have of service, or in old ways, she was a slave to the earth, because she's being of service to the earth. And that's why some people, when you say, I need to be of service to something, they get very uptight, because they're like, oh, if I'm of service, I'm going to, and their mind goes like, oh, there's no payment in there. There's no, I don't get anything from it. It's like I'm a slave to it, right? So a lot of times within Virgo energy, people can be feeling a slave to something, because they're not getting a return to what it is that they are desiring, or what they want. But as a Virgo full moon, they don't look at it that way. They're looking at, I want to be of service. I want to help you. I want to be that person to um help you maintain what you are wanting to maintain. So we have this energy that's being built up to this full moon, which is going to enhance the seeds that you are beginning to plant. See? And right now, with the moon being in lovely a Leo, even though the moon doesn't like to be in Leo, right? It'd rather be in Cancer because, Cancer rules the moon and the sun rules Leo. So, yeah, the moon's just like, yeah, but I do want to feel that inner peace. I do want to feel that connection with my heart and that internal energy. And so bringing that internal energy. So we're going back to planting the seeds with Mars and Virgo. How does that make me feel? Is it giving me joy or is it giving me stress? Do I feel overwhelmed or am I feeling like a slave? Do I feel like it's like, oh, fuck, I got to do this again and I'm just doing it and I'm not finding any enjoyment in anything that I do and I'm not being inspired? So again, we go back to what it is that brings in that inspiration and allows for you to look at what it is that you are wanting to create and plant the seeds to. And that's going to help you on this journey of awakening, of this journey of transformation and new frequencies, because Pluto has just reached 1 degree. We haven't had 1 degree Pluto in our life. So this is bringing in, I want to embrace the new frequencies that are coming forth. Okay. So we're going back to things that are going to be happening around you. Could be the cell phones. Could be all of a sudden we don't have the cell phones for 9 hours, or maybe it's a week, right? And this is where, okay, I'm planting my seeds. What do I need to go into? I know I'm going to be okay because I'm creating a connection, because that's also with Mars and Venus in Aquarius is creating the connections I need within my community that is around me. And that is so important with the new frequencies and the vibrations that are coming up. Shar, I love all these bubbles. I just love them. She's on Instagram and all these bubbles of thumbs up and balloons are coming up. It's just so cool. I love it. Thank you. But that's where we're at, right? As we are going through all of these changes and how I've been talking about surrendering. Because in doing it and planting the seeds, the thing is, when we plant the seeds, it's like, oh, where is it, right? But as soon as you plant the seeds, it does begin to sprout. So you got to surrender to the process. You got to surrender that of yourself to the journey that is unfolding for you. And this journey that is unfolding to you, and this is where people get scared, because this journey is very rocky, it's very bumpy. There's there's some smooth, pavement that's there, but yeah, there's some potholes that you have to be aware of, and it's not perfect. There's a lot of roughness in there, and that can bring people to feeling not stable and making them feel like, oh, but I want things to be this way and I want it to look this way. And why doesn't it look this way? And oh, where can I find it? And, so, oh, look there's a big screen. What's happening locally? Oh, look at this. Local community church. Come on in. You're welcome. And everything's played up on a big screen. And they pull you in. And this is where you don't want to get into the dogmatic energies of saying, well, this is the way you have to do it, and this is the way you have to believe. This is what you need to do in order for you to gain what it is that you desire. Now, hang on. There's two things I'm coming in here with. There's one that says you have to do it this way, and this is the only way, right? That's the dogmatic way. In comes the other inspiration that is coming forth for us with the new frequencies and the new transcendent energies, we'll say, because it's in Aquarius, that gets you to start looking at and saying, hey, I want to be inspired. I want to be able to feel it, hold it, and know, because I'm going by what is in my inner self and my connections, because I'm planting this energy on a moon, on a waxing moon in Leo. So that's significant because that energy carries through with you, right? Even though we're having a full moon coming up. So the seeds that you're planting today under this moon are very powerful because they're getting you to come in and look at, okay, this is what connects with me. And I'm not being forced because that's what sometimes with the dogmatic energy, it forces you. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to pray. This is how you need to genuflect when you come into the church because the red light is on, the candles on the altar. Everybody knows it was a Catholic when that's on, you know that the body of Christ is in the sacristy. He's there. So you have to genuflect, as you come in because that is showing reverence to whatever's there, right? So this is what we have to look at. It's like, no, I'm coming in because you know what? I'm coming into and I'm going to bow, but I'm going to bow as we do in Kundalini yoga. I'm going to bow to the energies within you and to the energies within me. I'm going to allow for that energies to be within each other so that we can both grow and prosper within this world. That's where it's at. But there is it can be very overcomplicated. It can be very fearful because it's not perfect because we live on earth. It's not perfect. So there are bumps and snags and craziness that happens within our life, as we are trying to create the life and the world that we want. But that's where it comes back in because you got to remember what you're planting is in Aquarius. And Aquarius wants to come in to create something new and vibrant as Pluto's at 1 degree and saying, yeah, because now we're feeling the true vibration of what Pluto wants you to do. Pluto wants you to create the communities and connections, but he is going to unravel the shit that doesn't work within communities, within society. And that's where you can get unhinged. That's where you can get fearful and overwhelmed and stressed and oh. So it's so important to really come back into what is it that I'm planting? What are the steps I need to do? I need to come back into my centeredness. I need to come back to that place of surrender and discernment within myself so that I am able to be seeing the direction I need to go into. And in doing that, you may not get it right away. You might be like still kind of wondering, oh my God, I asked, but nothing showed up. And that's where it is a practice. It is a continual practice of coming to that spot. This is what I'm creating. This is what I'm planting. And understanding that sometimes maybe you are planting the roots and the roots go down deep before anything sprouts up. Anything sprouts up. And in doing that, you got to understand that I got to plant these deep roots because I have to have that steadiness, that anchor within the earth. Now we're going to go to the Virgo, the planting, the harvesting. I need to go deep because in order to go deep, that's going to help me to have the anchors in what I am wanting to create within my desires and the values that I want to bring to this world. Because my vibration, my frequency that I am bringing forth into this new world is going to help others, seen or unseen. But I have to have the deep roots. And I have to make sure I'm planting because I will not see it right away. I may not see it for 5 years. And that brings people to be unhinged and fearful because they're not seeing the results that they want instantaneously. And that's what brings in a lot of fear. That's what brings in a lot of overwhelmness because we're not seeing the results. And we have come into a world, not all of us have come into this right away. Many of us know that, you have to wait. Just gotta, back in the day when you were waiting for a phone call, you couldn't go searching on social media. Well, where are they? What are they doing? And find out on Instagram or Snapchat that, oh, they're at cafe croissant or whatever it is. Oh, why are they there? They told me they didn't like to go there, but you could follow them there and now you see them. Back in the day, you had no idea where they were. You just had to wait, or continue on with your life. Why are you sitting around waiting? You got to continue on with your life. You got to continue doing what you need to be doing and not sit around and waiting, waiting. Oh, when are they going to call? When's it going to happen? Coming into that, that part, that piece that we need to look at, and we need to start to um, bring forth that spirituality. And you have the tools. Y'all have the tools. Sometimes we just have to bring them out and clean them up a bit and start utilizing them. For many of you who are maybe Reiki masters, when you're Reiki or even have your level 2 Reiki, when was the last time you used your Shokure or Hansei Shonen, right? Or Seihiki, right? So this is like, oh, well, maybe I need to bring out my, some of the tools I have and start to utilize them and start to practice them again. And maybe I'm gonna, start, in the morning I'm gonna shokure my coffee in the morning, or I'm going to shokure and put the shokure and the Seihiki symbol on all my vitamins and minerals. Maybe, these are, bringing back and activating that energy again, allowing myself to stand within that energy again so that I can have those activations and to start to make them come alive. Activation. So we're activating. There's a lot of activation that's happening, a lot of energies that's coming in, and especially as that sun, we've waited almost a year for the sun and Saturn conjunction. But the last time was that sun was already in Pisces, and then Saturn came in. This is year the Saturn's already in and the sun's coming up to bring forth that connection and bring forth what that connection is. Sometimes we have to let go and what we want so much and proof. When you least expect it, there it is. Exactly. Exactly. When you least expect it, there it is. And that's true because we want it so. I mean, it's like getting pregnant and like, "Oh, I'm pregnant, I want the baby now." No, the baby's gotta grow. There's things that have to happen. Your body has to change and the milk has to starting to get produced in the boobies and the whole bit, right? So all of this has to come in and the change has to happen. And then you get the bonus at the end. So that's where we're with this new creating and with this new energy. And as you can see around the world, yeah, and that's where the globalness comes in, where there is a lot of activation out there that is causing fear and getting people upset and angry. And again, it's understanding the history, right, of a lot of this. And I can't really explain it, but it was explained to me on how, especially with what's happening in Palestine and how the connection goes back because of the different religions within Muslim, right? There's 4 different areas. And before I can explain it for anybody, I have to sort of ingest it in order for me to be able to explain it properly. But in the long and the short, it just ends up going back to Iran. And within Iran, there is a part of within within them that believe that they are the direct descendants of Muhammad, and that with being the direct descendants of Muhammad, that they have the right to do and say what they do because they speak that direct descendants. They have that direct line. And, as it was being explained to me, this reminded me of the priests in the Catholic Church because all of the priests' lineages can be traced back quite far, right? And many of them can be traced supposedly all the way back to Peter and stuff. So I'm just like, okay, so that because they have been ordained or they have that lineage or that line, does that mean that they are better or greater than you are? No, it doesn't. It doesn't, but it makes them think they do. So, and it's just like, oh, okay, all right. No, I got to come back to where I need to be. I got to come back to my center. I got to come back and move away from the crazy dogma. But with Saturn in Pisces, many people are going to go. Many people are going to go onto that the side of religion. Many people are going to go onto that, to for that verification, for that, because they are feeling unhinged and overwhelmed. And many of them are, people who've dealt, who've been psychics or mediums or tarot readers or angel readers or astrologers. You're going to see many of them going over there, and fine, if that's what they feel truly within their heart of what they want to do, and understanding the reasoning being of why they're doing what they're doing. So it's interesting. It is interesting. I go by vibration. I love it when I go into a sacred spot or a sacred place, whether that is has to do with the indigenous people of North America, or I'm going into a cathedral that has, that has been there for a long time, and you're going within the cathedral and they have the different shrines in them, and feeling the power of those shrines because you're feeling the power of the prayer of those who've come before you. And it's just, it's the reverence in there is just fabulous. Because sometimes I just like to go sit in a church, um, when you can find one that's open. Because a lot of times they can't keep the churches open anymore because of stuff. But if can find one that's open and just go and sit and just feel the reverence, not feeling any other or try to get in anything else, just going and sit. That's like going and finding the sacred spot, or going on Nose Hill here in Calgary and going to the top of Nose Hill and just sitting. You can feel the reverence. You can feel that power of the medicine wheels that are there. It's beautiful. And you get, and you could hear the wind whistling around you and blowing and speaking to you. There's such peace. And sometimes that's what you need in order for you to find the directions of where you are wanting to go to. Yeah. So powerful energy today. Powerful energy. And as we're building up to this full moon, and if you're wanting a full moon reading, they're $40 and they are recorded just for you, specifically for you. And then I send them to your inbox. So if you're wanting one, just email me, thegurumama@gmail.com, or you can definitely just DM me, either on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, and let me know that you are wanting to order. And then I'll let you know how to make payment. But yeah, it's the power, the power is there. And it's, I find it, interesting because of so much that's coming up in the media and so much that's coming up. The things about Julian Savage. I can't say his last name. I don't want to trash it. But he's in the high courts right now. He needs lots of prayers. He's originally from Australia. Um on what that means to freedom of speech, right? So seeing, just a lot of things that are coming up there that just wants you to look at the one big screen, right? Instead of you coming back into self and the directions that you need to go into, and sending out those outward prayers, sending out peace, sending out, the vibrations of love to those that are needing it and are around. And it's not perfect. I'm going to say it's not perfect out there right now, and your life is not going to be perfect, and it's not going to be easy in doing this shit. You're going to have some challenges, and there's going to be where sometimes it feels like, oh well, this is bullshit, nobody's listening to me, and if there is a giant person in the universe, I don't know where the fuck they are because they're not listening to the fuck I'm saying, and blah blah blah. And yeah, you're going to have those times, and you're going to feel that way, and that's okay. Honor it. Honor it. Allow for that to come out, because it can't stay inside, and you have to let it out at times. And then you'll find then you'll find a miracle will happen, and you'll hear the answers. You'll hear the answers. So let's go into the tickle trunks and see what's there for cards today. Oh, what do we have? What do we have? Oh my goodness. This is a big deck. Oh, this is a combo deck that I did. I put two goddess decks together. It is it's this deck, and then I got a goddess deck that's in it. I have two of these decks somewhere. But anyways, we're pulling this out. This is a goddess deck, and then which is this one. And then I have this deck, which is done by Velva Dawn. Her name's Velva Dawn. She's from this area. She does goddess energy and work. So so let's see. Haven't used these cards in a while. So let's just bring them in. I've been sitting there. Oh. They're so big. They're big in my hands. Okay, I'm going to just close my eyes because I don't want the color to persuade me on how I want to choose the cards. So this one's 1, this one's 2. And this one's 3. Okay. Whew. All right. So the first card we got, Kuan Yin. Self-fulfillment. I love this. Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is such a beautiful energy of peace and compassion and love that comes forth. Yet she has that strength. She works with the dragon. She has the dragon energy. She's also known to be the one who helps those at sea who need aid, and they've seen her come forth on her dragon. So she has this power to bring forth the transformation and changes in your life. Coming forth and asking for Kuan Yin to be within you and around you and to guide you upon your path, guide you and give you the patience, because that's the beautiful thing with Kuan Yin. She has that beautiful lotus flower that is there as she sits, and she's got some information there. There's information. She's got that little piece of paper there. So there's information. This is called self-fulfillment. So looking at whatever the self-fulfillment is, and that's, with the seeds that you are going to plant, what is that self-fulfillment? Yemenia, I love her. Oh my God, connection with the water. The Pisces sun, connection with the ocean, connection with the vastness. Calling her in, asking her to come forth. When you're looking at, with Kuan Yin, and then in comes, especially with the dolphin energy wants to heal you, wants to guide you. And with, Yemenia, I hope I'm saying that right, wants to open the doorways. So opening these beautiful doorways, allowing for these doorways to open up for you so that you can find those opportunities. So you got to be able to, come into a place of allowing for those frequencies to come in and bring forth that change in order for you to see the golden opportunities, in order for you to walk through those doors. And as you do that, Artemis comes in. So you're totally protected. I mean, she's a badass bitch. Artemis is the one of bringing in the knowledge and encouragement. She is the sister to Mars, so she isn't going to back down. She's going to be the one that sits with you. She carries the crescent moon upon her because she's the maiden, right? She's a strong maiden that, and she has obsidian. So there's the obsidian to bring forth the protection on her arrow. So the obsidian is there, and the pillars behind her gives her that strength and determination. So we come forth with this beautiful energy of Kuan Yin that is wanting to bring in the fulfillment and the transformation for you as Yemenia comes in and opens the doorways. And as you're walking through, Artemis is saying, don't worry, don't be afraid. I am there to protect you. I am there to guide you. upon your pathway, and I will be there for you. Very beautiful energies for us today. So there you guys go. Have a beautiful one. And if you're wanting to order a reading for the full moon, just let me know. People, you'll be getting your readings within the next 3 days. I'm going to be doing some just now. And yeah, so have a blessed one, everybody. We'll talk to you all very soon. So have a great one. Let's go. Bye-bye.